Hello, everyone, and welcome to my descriptive speech. Straight off the bat, I'm going to put out a disclaimer that the topic that I'm going to speak about in regards to a life event that was significant may make some of you feel uncomfortable. If at any point you do feel uncomfortable throughout my speech, it's okay to exit out and go view another speech from somebody else. In addition, I may or may not cry speaking through this speech. I think that some of these feelings are still very raw, even if it's been 4 years later. So I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there from the very beginning. So the date is November 1st, 2022, and that is the date that I fled my home due to domestic violence. I was in a 12-year abusive and very toxic and unhealthy relationship. In the beginning of my relationship with him, I was wearing these rose colored glasses and all these red flags, they just really looked like flags. And it started off with a lot of verbal abuse and emotional, slowly chipping away at pieces of me until I was just a shell of myself. I was a stay at home mom for 12 years. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a driver's license. My whole entire world revolved around our three children, one of which has severe disabilities. It took a lot to be able to get to the point of fleeing. And a lot of times people ask, well, why didn't you leave sooner? But they don't ever really consider that, one, they're not going to, free up their own homes to, help me, and they're not going to help financially to help get me on my own 2 feet to provide for me and my children. But fleeing was one of the most dangerous, I feel, moments of my life. And thankfully, I had a safety plan in place with the Leominster Police Department, the Spanish American Center, and other different organizations, including DAV, Disabled American Veterans. They helped all assist me in creating this safety plan to flee while my ex-husband was on a business trip. And I feel that that was the moment that was so very defining for me, because I went from being homeless and not knowing what I was going to do and being scared to flipping my life in a way that I never thought even possible. And it took years. Now I'm in a better place where, I'm going to college to try to get my degree in special education to be a special education teacher of severe disabilities. I have my own car. I work full time as an ABA para, so that way I can work around my son's disabilities and his needs and his school schedule and therapies. So overall, I feel like I've kind of switched to a place where, I'm no longer sheltered. And I think that that was such a defining moment in my life. And that moment on November 1st, 2022, was the moment of freedom for me. And I feel like I can do so much now that I never could have thought possible. And I don't take it for granted, because uh, if I didn't leave, I don't know, what I would have been. I honestly don't even know. I'm even scared of not even who I would have been, just even my children, and making sure that they're safe and protected too. So there's just so many factors into, leaving, and that date in itself is just so significant to me. But I just wanted to talk about that because I feel that with domestic violence, what I learned the most about it is that the violence grew in silence. And it really took me stepping up and speaking about it and talking about it to where I was able to get the help to be able to flee and to lead a better life for me and my children. So I just want to say that that moment in itself was so very defining for me, and so very significant. But I at least wanted to talk about it and speak about something that is not so often really spoken of. So thank you very much for listening to my speech, and I hope you all have a great day. Thank you.